Hello, good evening.
Ahoj,
Good
dobrý
afternoon.
večer. Dobré
Good
odpoledne.
afternoon, whatever.
Welcome, Venerable Jetsunmou.
Vítejte, ctihodná.
Thank you.
Thank you that we have the opportunity
A
to see you,
děkujeme
to
za
be
to,
with
že
you.
máme možnost vás vidět a být tady s
And
vámi.
how are you? How
A
are
jak
you
se
doing?
máte? Jak se
We're
vám
all
daří?
fine. The nuns are in the middle of their
Dobře.
midterm exams.
Teď jsme
So
uprostřed
they're
vlastně
all
zkouškového
revising
období,
very hard.
takže všechny mnišky se
But
hodně
everybody's fine.
učí a všechno je dobré.
Getting ready for Losar.
A připravujeme se na
Tibetan
Losar,
New Year
tibetský nový rok,
on 3rd March.
který bude 3. března.
Mhm. So it's going to be a big event, right?
Takže to bude velká událost.
Yeah, it's the
ano?
biggest event of the year, really.
Ano,
I
bude
mean,
to
mostly
největší
picnics
událost
and things.
v roku. A většinou to budou pikniky.
Tibetans love picnics. How is everything where you are? How is the weather?
Jak je u vás, jaké je u vás počasí?
Well, it's spring.
Takže
It seems spring is coming.
Zdá se,
It's
že
getting
přichází
warmer and
jaro
warmer.
a tepluje se.
Good.
Tepluje.
It's a little early, no?
Je to trošku
Little early,
brzo.
but
Ano, je to brzo.
we like it actually. I think
Ale nám se
everybody
to líbí.
welcomes
Já si myslím, že každý to vítá.
this kind of positive, optimistic
Tento
change of
druh
weather towards more warm,
optimistického,
more light.
pozitivního změny počasí, který je více takový
It's nice.
Yeah.
ve směrem
As
k
long as
životu.
all the buds don't come out and then it gets very cold again.
Ale pak se někdy stává,
That's
že
the only
je
problem
hodně
if it
silné.
starts too early.
Jediný problém,
Anyway, good.
když to
I'm glad
začne
it's
moc
warming
brzo,
up.
tak je nejdřív hodně teplo a pak se hodně rapidně ochladí. To může být problém.
So perhaps we can wait a minute
Že
or
možná
so
můžeme
if
ještě
some
počkat
other people
minutu
are eventually
nebo
joining,
víc,
otherwise then we can
jestli
start,
ostatní
okay?
lidé se
Okay,
připojí,
no problem.
a nebo můžeme už začít.
So how is everything with you, more or less,
A jak je u vás?
apart from the
víceméně,
weather?
mimo to počasí.
Hopefully okay for me,
Já
but
myslím, že u
also
mě
please other
OK.
people.
Já bych také
I would
poprosila
like also other
ostatní
people
lidi, abych
to say how they are or what they would like
chtěla
to
také,
tell you
aby
or
třeba
whatever,
někteří lidé
so that
řekli,
is also
jak se mají, nebo
they are also
jak se
included.
daří,
It's opening up more
aby
now.
také byli zahrnutí do té
me?
komunikace.
Are things opening up?
Yes,
Ty věci
regarding the
více
pandemic,
otevírají.
yes.
Ano,
Things are
co se
more and
týká
more opening
pandemie,
up
tak se
and,
věci více a
some
více
restrictions
otevírají a
and,
některá
lockdowns
omezení
are released,
a
and so slowly
lockdowny
we
se
are returning to
uvolňují, takže
normal.
pomaličku se vracíme k normálu.
And
Good.
how is in your place in
Dobře.
India?
A jak je to u vás v Indii?
Yeah, they say that the government are going to
Říkají, že
open up
vlastně
now
vláda
and
teď
with
chystá
restrictions for
otevřít
tourists.
a ty omezení
And
turistů.
we also are thinking after
my
Losar
přemýšlíme, že
and
možná po
after
Losaru
Losar the nuns do
a
one
že
week
po
of
Losaru,
Nyumne.
bude
And
jeden
then after that we're
jeden
thinking also to open.
něne a potom
We've been closed for 2
zřejmě
years, so
otevřeme,
it's
protože
good.
už jsme byli 2 roky
You know,
zavření.
if now we open up and visitors can
Když se
come again.
vlastně otevřeme a
So
přijdou
we see.
návštěvníci, tak by to bylo dobré. Takže my jsme hodně v bezpečí.
So then, dear friends, dear Dharma friends,
Drazí
let me open
přátelé
this
v
Dharma
Dharmě,
session of
nechte mě
questions and answers with
otevřít
Venerable
vlastně tuto
Jetsunmou Tenzin
sezení
Palmo.
na otázky
So
a
I don't need
odpovědi
to
se
introduce her.
Ctihodnou
We have
Jetsunmou
met
Tenzin
for
Palmo.
a few times
Já už ji
already in the
nemusím
past.
představovat, protože
So
už jsme ji několikrát v
again,
minulosti
I would like to
potkali.
express
Já bych chtěla ještě
gratitude
vyjádřit
on behalf of all of
vděčnost
us that we have this
na
good
naší
opportunity,
straně, že
good
máme
chance
tuto
to listen
dobrou
to the Dharma,
příležitost
to
a
precious
dobrou
Dharma
šanci
teaching
poslouchat
from
vzácnou
Jetsunmou based
nauku
on
Dharmy
your
od
questions.
Jetsunmy, která je
And so,
založena na vašich otázkách.
I will read as usually
A já
the
obecně
questions
zase
and
budu
then
číst
Jetsunmou will answer.
otázky a
And so
Jetsunma na ně bude
those
odpovídat.
who need translation,
Takže ti, kteří
please
potřebují
join the
překlad,
interpretation channel.
tak ať se připojí
Thank
k
you.
tomu kanálu pro překlad.
So the first question is
Takže první
a
otázka
question
je
about the pure realm
otázka
of
o čistém
Amitabha.
světě
It
v
is said
Amitabhi.
that
Říká
when we
se,
reach
že když
Devachan, we
dosáhneme
will not be
Devachanu,
enlightened
nebudeme
immediately,
okamžitě
but at
osvícení,
the same time
ale
we will not suffer.
zároveň
We
nebudeme
will not
trpět.
even be in a state of
Nebudeme ani ve
arhat.
stavu arhata.
It's a little
To je
confusing.
trošku
Could you please
matoucí.
tell us more
Mohla
about
byste
that?
nám k tomu říct trochu víc?
Well, of course, first of all, there's no suffering
Samozřejmě nejprve
because one
není
has a
žádné
body of
utrpení,
light.
protože
And
ten
so there's
člověk
no
má tělo
sickness, no
světla,
old age,
takže tam
like with the
není
celestial
vlastně
realms.
nemoc ani stáří.
You know, it's very pleasant.
Je to
So
velice
there is no
příjemné, takže
suffering there.
tam není žádné utrpení.
And some people say
A
that
někteří lidé
the
říkají,
body
že
is androgynous, means it's not male or female, so then there's no sexual
že tam
problems.
vlastně nejsou žádné
So in
sexuální
general,
problémy, že to tělo není
it's very nice. But
takže
the
obecně
difference
to velice
between that and
příjemné.
the celestial
Ale
realms,
ten
the heavenly
rozdíl
realms,
s těmi
are
ostatními
that
nebeskými
here
světy
in Amitabha's Pure Land or Akshobhya's Pure Land or any Buddha's Pure Land, one hears the Dharma. One is in the presence of Amitabha
každý může poslouchat
and surrounded by bodhisattvas. So it's not just sensual pleasure. Everything is focused on understanding and practicing the Dharma. So one gradually awakens. This is not a tantric Pure Land. And in the Mahayana Sutras, it takes a long time to finally become enlightened. And so also even in the Pure Land, it takes time, but all the circumstances are supportive. And in the meantime, at a certain point, one can send out emanations into the various realms in order to be able to benefit beings. One doesn't have to wait till one's fully enlightened to do that, because one's basic motivation is bodhicitta, to attain enlightenment for the sake of others. Then in the meantime, what one can do to help others, one will do. I just want to read this small thing from this gentleman who's the head of the Pure Land School in America. It should be remembered that in all China, Tibet, Korea, Vietnam, Japan, the main practice is Pure Land Buddhism, really. Everyone's praying to go to Amitabha's Pure Land. Even in the Zen schools, they also do what's called the Nembutsu, which means the Namo Amitofo prayer. So he says here, through the Nembutsu, that is invoking the name of Amitabha, practitioners open themselves to the illumination of emptiness, the deep flow of the oneness of reality, and the formless Buddha manifests within each of us as the Buddha of boundless compassion. So this mantra, Namo Amida Butsu, embodies both the bodhisattva vow of universal liberation and the Buddha's fully realized awakening. So the Pure Lands are an emanation, a projection of the mind of the Buddhas. So this is why it is the most fulfilling way in Mahayana to be sure not to fall back downwards. You know, because if we get reborn back in the human realm, as we have seen, you know, you might be quite high in your last life, but you can still go down. And it's very hard to really benefit beings if you yourself don't really know what you're doing. You know, if you have what we call here, calling it the foolish being filled with blind passions. So then we entrust ourselves to the awakening into infinite light. So the point is that there one cannot go downwards. One can only go upwards. And therefore it's the safest place to get reborn.
kde bychom se
That's
mohli znovu zrodit. A to je ta vlastně myšlenka tady toho čistého světa.
Thank you.
Děkuji.
And then second question.
Tak druhá otázka.
A question about tormas.
Otázka o tormách je výroba obětování torem součástí tibetské kultury, podobně jako oltář, jak jste zmínila minule, nebo je součástí buddhismu?
Well, I mean, of course, the form
myslím, že
that the tormas may take with made of tsampa or roasted barley flour with butter ornaments, right? I mean, that definitely is Tibetan culture. I mean, they didn't have roasted barley in India, and those butter ornaments would melt in 2 seconds.
A zároveň ty máslové ozdoby v tom indickém klimatu by jsou
definitely that is something which was indigenous to the Tibetans.
Samozřejmě souvisí.
And in fact, you know, in retreat,
ale fakticky,
you know, you can offer biscuits, right? Put a little pile of biscuits. That's enough. It's the offering which counts, not the shape.
To, co se vlastně
right? The form is not so important. That is just their part of their tradition. But really and truly, it's the offering of some kind of grain, some kind of grain. So biscuits are fine. I mean, you can get little round biscuits and just pile them up.
Kulaté sušenky, tak je můžete takhle postavit na sebe.
I mean, yeah, my Lama one time said, one of the first things he said to me was, always remember that Tibetan Buddhism is half Tibetan culture and half Dharma. Just don't throw out the Dharma while you're throwing out the culture, right? But of course, every country that Buddhism has gone to has adopted the culture of that country. So you have Chinese Buddhism, Japanese Buddhism, Thai Buddhism, and so forth. And Tibetan Buddhism likewise. And so it's very important to recognize, you know, what is really just something which felt comfortable to the people where Buddhism was introduced. They already had their own culture, and then Buddhism came along and adapted itself. The Dharma stays the same. The Dharma doesn't change, but the outer form is very adaptable. And sometimes Tibetans don't know the difference. So they make a lot of fuss about something which really is just Tibetan culture. Not Dharma at all, but because that's something which they identify with. So they think it's very, very important. They don't understand it's just the way the Tibetans did it. It's not the way everybody, all Buddhists do it.
A to neznamená, že když to dělají Tibetané, že to dělají ostatní buddhisté.
Thank you. To be, why is the perfect shape of forma so important? I have the experience that two lamas from the same lineage made the same forma slightly differently.
Exactly.
A to je přesně to.
I mean, it's not important, but different traditions have different ways of doing things, right? So, depending on who you learn from, you know, you will do in that tradition, but you make it slightly different because you learn from a different teacher to, you know, the fellow monk who wherever he was. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, I think it's very important to recognize that it's very nice to carry on their culture for them, but really that is nothing to do with actual, you know, practice of Buddhism. These tormas are just offerings and receptacles for the deity to manifest.
Vlastně způsob pro to, aby se to božstvo mohlo manifestovat.
Thank you. Partnership. I have been told,
bylo mi řečeno, otázka číslo 3. Bylo mi řečeno, že Rinpočové mají partnery, aby demonstrovali to, že lidé, kteří mají rodinu, se mohou také zabývat dharmou. Touha po sexu je jednou z nejsilnějších tužeb a proto jednou z nejsilnějších zatemnění. Moje otázka je možné žít intimní život s partnerem, aniž bychom se na tom upívali. Může být sexuální vzrušení u člověka, který je v přirozenosti mysli a
well, of course, well, Tantra in particular makes a lot of use of the sexual energies. In most forms of Buddhism, of course, you know, we are trying to
se týká vlastně
either overcome completely
tak se
the
snažíme
sexual
úplně
urge, or
třeba
else at least to keep it within
překonat
good ethical boundaries.
sexuální
But
vzrušení, abychom
in
měli
Tantra,
dobré
of course, they
etické
recognize this
vlastně
is an
hranice,
incredible
ale v
energy
tantře se to vlastně
which
rozpoznává, takže
could
se
be
jedná o
used
úžasnou
as in
energii,
Kundalini
která
yoga
může být
to bring
vlastně
the
používána
energy
jako
instead
kundalini
of going
yoga,
outwards to
která
bring it
vlastně
upwards through the various chakras
přivede tu
and
energii do různých čaker
in that way
a takovým způsobem
facilitate realization very
facilituje
quickly.
vlastně realizaci
So therefore,
rychleji.
high
Takže
lamas
proto vysoce
take
postavení
consults
lámové
in
si
order
berou
to
vlastně družky
practice
proto,
this
aby
advanced
praktikovali
state of tantra.
tento vlastně
And sometimes
pokročilý
they are
stav
actually
tantry.
even they were
A
monks, and
někdy,
then their teachers told them you should take
byli
a
třeba
consult
mnichové
in
nebo
order to
učitelé a oni si brali
extend your
družky
life.
proto, aby si
So
prodloužili svůj
some
život.
people like
Takže
Dekoketse,
někteří
etc., who
lidé,
got quite sick, was told he should
Dekokence třeba
marry in
například
order
vlastně
to
onemocněl a bylo mu doporučeno, aby se oženil.
in order to regain his health again.
Vlastně znovu nabil
So
své
in
zdraví.
general, there's no
A
problem
obecně
with
to není
feeling, you
problém,
know, love and affection
cítit lásku
for a
a
partner, and also for any
zamilovanost
children you have, you know.
A také když
The
máte
only
děti,
problem is clinging
jediný
and
problém je
attachment.
vlastně
Clinging
to
and
ulpívání
attachment,
a připoutání.
non-attachment doesn't mean you're cold and you don't love.
To, že nejste
You
připoutaní,
know, I mean, all these
že
lamas
nemilujete.
love their
Všichni tyto
family very
lámové
much, and their
milují
families
své
love them
rodiny.
too. I mean, it's a very
Ty
warm
rodiny já také
family,
miluji a to je
and their sons and daughters adored their father, and
velké
their father
rodiny
was
a
a great
synové a
example
dcery
for them,
vlastně
and loved them very deeply. It's not that, it's the grasping bit which we have to deal with, you know, in anything. So, you know, in Tantra, even the deities, the Anuttara Yoga Tantra deities are seen in union with their consorts, right? So it's obviously possible
Takže vždy
to be in a state of realization while you're in a state of union, if even the deities themselves are in that state, right? But of course, it's easy to deceive ourselves and others about this sort of thing, as we all know, you know. So,
Jo, ale může nás to
I mean, unless you are really very well trained in this sort of thing, genuinely well trained. I think it's good not to try to kid yourself that you're a great tantric yogi just because you have sex.
Neměli byste si myslet, že jste tantričtí jogini jenom proto, že vlastně...
So I think for everybody it's very important first of all to have very ethical sex, which does not cause any harm to anybody, and best of all within marriage, and staying faithful within that, and just, you know, not worrying too much about it. I mean, the problem is only the grasping mind. So if one can just enjoy sex with, if you're not a monk, and stay faithful to your partner, give lots of love to them, bring up your children as well as you possibly can, be a good example to everybody, be kind and be good, and then that's enough. Don't worry. You know, I mean, the Buddha himself, even in a Theravada, had many advanced students who were married. He didn't tell everybody they have to become monks or that sex is wicked and sinful. It's not like that at all. Sex is perfectly natural. I mean, unless you're a monk and vow to celibacy within the family, then that is a perfectly natural thing, and there's nothing wrong with it at all, provided it's not exploitive in any way, doesn't harm anybody, and is done with genuine love and affection. As an expression of love and affection. Then it's okay. No problem.
Oka a není s tím žádný problém.
Thank you.
Děkuji.
Very much. Question number 4.
Otázka číslo 4. Co se týká dlouhého života učitelů nebo jiných cítících bytostí, tak já recituji mantru bílé táry, ale nemám splnomocnění pro praxi bílé táry. Má v tomto případě mantra správný efekt?
You know, obviously, any kind of deity practice, it's better to have the empowerment. I mean, there's no beyond that, because it makes a link,
protože ono to vytváří spojení,
all the way back to the original guru who created that particular practice. So, of course, it's very, very best. And then you're introduced like to Tara, and Tara, please meet so and so, and everybody shakes hands, and now you're all friends. So it's definitely better to have the empowerment. But in the meantime, if one's intention are pure, then the blessing is still there. We shouldn't think there's no blessing unless one has empowerment. I mean, really, if from your heart you have pure devotion to Tara, she's there. Right? Because Tara represents our true nature. So it's only that the empowerment points out the nature. But whether it's pointed out or not, it's still there. So you shouldn't worry about that. But anyway, just for the sake of it, I will repeat the Tara mantra, the white Tara mantra 3 times, and they can regard that as the lung or the oral transmission. Okay, so I will just repeat the mantra 3 times. Om Tare Tutare Ture Mama Ayo Punya Jnana Pushtin Kuru Swaha. Om Tare Tutare Ture Mama Ayo Punya Jnana Pushtin Kuru Swaha. Om Tare Tutare Ture Mama Ayo Punya Jnana Pushtin Kuru Swaha. Okay, so that's the long. It just is. I got it from somebody who got it from somebody, got it somebody all the way back to Tara. So in that it gives you permission to say it at least. And the important thing is the devotion. If you have devotion, she's there right with you. Right standing there in front of you. No worries.
Okamžitě stojí před vámi, takže nemusíte mít žádný strach.
Thank you very much.
Děkuji.
Then next is a set of questions related with the same topic.
Otázek, které souvisí se stejným tématem, když sociální, politické, ekologické, ekonomické a jiné události, které vytváří neklid v rámci
responding to them in this way shows our low capacity. Can we thus view them as projections of our own ignorance and
pleasures? Můžeme je vnímat jako projekce našich vlastní nevědomosti a kléb.
Well, of course, obviously, ultimately everything is a projection of our own ignorance and pleasures, right? Nonetheless, there is relative truth and ultimate truth. You know, on an ultimate level, a rock, right, is an empty projection. It's just pure energy and space. But on a relative level, if we throw it at you, you'll bruise. Right? And it might even kill us. So, you know, we shouldn't say just, oh, it's all an illusion, as if therefore it doesn't exist. It is an illusion insofar as how we perceive it through our senses. It's not actually how things really exist. But nonetheless, for us, on the level we are at, that's how they seem to exist, and that's how we have to relate to things, as well as from I mean, just going around saying everything is empty, and you walk into the road and get hit by a car. Well, yes.
Všechno je prázdné, prázdné, prázdné a teď jdete k té skále a najednou vás srazí auto. A můžete takto ten život úplně
ztratit. So, we have to understand there is ultimate reality, but there is also the relative reality in which we exist.
Ale zároveň tu realitní, v které vlastně existujeme, protože oni
it's all a projection, but while we're projecting, we believe it.
Je to všechno projekce a my té projekci vlastně věříme.
If, then continuation of the question, if outside events appear
když vnější události se objevují v mysli příliš často, je to stav
slabé pozornosti, slabé všímavosti vůči našemu vnitřnímu prostředí, stavu toho, že jsme příliš zaměření na koncepty.
Well, as I said before, while we are in the world, we need to be aware of it, right? So the important thing here is not to get stuck simply in what is happening in outside events. We need to be aware without clinging and without judging everything. I mean, the point is that everything we see, we either like it or we don't like it, we think it's good or we think it's bad, in accordance with our own judgment. So, in other words, our minds basically should be non-stick, right? Like Teflon. Nothing. Usually, when we see something, we adhere to it, we cling to it. So, what we need is a mind which it's the thoughts and feelings, they pass by, but they don't leave behind any residue. They just disappear into space. So then observing sights and sounds and tastes and touch and everything, endlessly churning them in the mind. That's the problem. So instead of endlessly following our thoughts, we should try to keep ourselves in the present moment and just observe from moment to moment what is happening in the mind, not judging it or trying to change it, especially during formal sittings, but just knowing what's going on in the mind and how much we are indeed projecting out not only our outer reality, but our responses to that reality. This is the problem. That we get caught up in the past, in the future, going round and round and round with our judgments in the present, but we don't actually, we're not really conscious of what's going on in the mind at that particular moment. That's what we need to do, is to be with what's happening in the moment. So then, whatever happens, we don't have to think, oh, this is good or this is bad, it's just what's happening.
Toto je dobré, toto je špatné, ale je to pouze to, co se děje.
Can these states of mind lead a Buddhist person towards engaged Buddhism or even radical Buddhism?
Nebo až k radikálnímu
buddhismu? I mean, many high lamas and many high masters are very active. I mean, even while they remain mindful and ungrasping, I mean, you think of Thich Nhat Hanh, for example, or Sananda, or the Dalai Lama, or any of these people, they're very active. And even the Buddha himself, I mean, he spent 45 years after his enlightenment, wandering around Northeast India, teaching everybody he met, and organizing his Sangha, and creating the whole Dharma feast, which we're still, eating today. He wasn't just sitting there, spaced out, going, I mean, he's a very active guy. My own Lama, Kampa Rinpoche, he also, when he left Tibet, he had all these lay people as well, monastery, and he settled them all. They all built houses. He trained everybody. He was an artist. He trained everybody painting, wood carving, weaving carpets. I mean, everybody was very active, and he was running all over the place, but he was completely centered. I mean, he was the most totally present person you could meet. But he did, he had tremendous social outreach. So many of the great masters have, they have to build their monasteries, train the monks, teach the people, and nowadays wander all around the world, creating Dharma centers. And also many of them have started social projects and encourage their students to engage in various social projects, going out to the villages, helping the people, starting schools, starting hospitals.
Na vesnice stavěli školy, stavěli nemocnice, pomáhali ostatním lidem.
I mean, if you cannot be aware and conscious unless you're sitting on your cushion, then you don't know what it means to be aware and conscious, isn't it? I mean, we should be able to be consciously aware under all circumstances.
být vědomě běle přítomní během všech okolností.
With our desire to
naší
benefit many beings,
vlastně
then also as much as possible to engage in social
takže co nejvíc bychom se měli
outcomes, as much as
zabývat nebo věnovat tomu sociálnímu působení.
Yeah, I mean, lots and lots of great masters,
spousta velkých mistrů,
great social activists at the same time.
Jsou také zároveň sociálními aktivisty. A proč ne?
Can this be the lack of
Může se jednat o
understanding
nedostatek pochopení toho, že je tam nejprve potřeba být ve stavu stabilní meditační praxe
and how to
a
fundamentally
jak
tame the
základně
mind,
zkrotit svou
and
mysl
only then looking for more
pouze
complex
hledat
answers.
komplexnější odpovědi.
The two can work together. I mean, it doesn't have to be first this, then that.
No to jde spolu. Nejde o to, že
of course, the Buddha himself recommended first we have good shamatha, calm meditation to make the mind clear and calm and centered.
Jasnou mysl ve středu a
and then after that, to do vipassana, insight meditation. So the Buddha himself said, let the wise man tame his mind. A well-tamed mind brings happiness. So he definitely did that, but still the two can go together and can support each other. And a calm, quiet, clear mind
a ta jasná mysl
allows us to see more clearly what is going on inside ourselves. So the two go together. I mean, as our shamatha gets deeper, then also our insight begins to arise, because once the pool is, the mud is settled, then the pool becomes very clear. And then you can see all the things going on in the pool, all the fish and all the rocks and all the rubbish. It hasn't gotten rid of the mud yet, the mud's still there, but we can see it more clearly now.
Ale když se to usadí, tak to můžeme potom lépe všechno v té vodě vidět, v tom jezírku.
And the last question from this set is, can such kind of overthinking in this direction be a sign of lack in meditation practice? Does it indicate the need to
Poukazuje
more?
to na potřebu více sedět?
Well, obviously, if we're endlessly caught up in thinking, then obviously we need to learn how to bring the mind into the present, how to relax, and how to be aware of the mind. The thoughts are not the problem. I think it's very important to recognize the thoughts are not the problem. Our lack of awareness of the thoughts is the problem.
Problém je naše
that we get carried away by our thoughts,
že naše myšlenky
and that we identify with our
že
thoughts,
se identifikujeme se
and that we believe our thoughts.
A pak věříme svým myšlenkám.
I think this therefore must be
Já
true.
si myslím, že toto
right? That's the problem.
A to je problém.
And that is why it's very important to learn how to step back and just observe the thoughts, the energy that is going by,
tu energii, která se mi prochází,
being involved and without being identified with the thoughts. Recognizing thoughts are just thoughts. They are just energy impulses. Some are good, some are not good, but anyway, they're not me, they're not mine.
Některé jsou dobré, některé jsou špatné, ale
this is our
toto
problem,
není mysl.
that we get completely swept away by our thinking.
Úplně smete to
and we don't know how to step back and just be aware of our thinking as thinking, rather than being totally engulfed in it. So that's the thing. So this is why in the beginning it's good to do breath meditation and get the mind calm and centered and cultivate our ability to observe. So to observe the breath at first is easier than the mind, because the breath is slower. And also as the breath becomes quieter, the mind also becomes quieter. But when the awareness, when the mindfulness is very clear, the attention is very clear, then to turn that back onto the thoughts themselves and to observe the thoughts as they come by without, as I say, becoming immersed in them and carried away by them. So this is the point. So yeah, thoughts are just thoughts. They're phantoms of mental energy. And they're not necessarily true, not necessarily accurate.
A nejsou
they're just thoughts.
ani takové
So calm the mind, definitely.
To jsou to pouze myšlenky. Měli byste sklidnit tou mysl, když ta mysl je klidná a jasná a zaměřená a dělat pozorná, tak všechno ostatní přijde.
The mind is just spiraling out of control and we're not observing it,
a my to
then any practice we try to do, we cannot accomplish.
Kterou se snažíme vykonat, tak ji neuskutečníme. Ono to
so this is why the Buddha emphasized
to je to, proč vlastně zdůraznil, měli dobrou
calm, clear,
jasnou, čistou, bděle pozornou mysl.
Then everything else comes so easily.
Je mnohem snadnější.
And in this day and age when everything outside is so frenetic,
a teď, když všechno je takové frenetické, tak je to mnohem pořád více a více důležité mít tu vnitřní přítomnost.
Thank you very much. Next set of questions.
Další seznam otázek.
This question is probably connected to the previous one. How can we find a border between the outer conceptual phenomena or events and internal search for peace? How to properly differentiate outer conceptual reality in case of phenomena which are a real physical violence towards people and beings?
Fyzických násilí vůči lidem a bytostem.
I mean, you know, again,
opět,
there's the ultimate reality, right? There's the unborn, non-dual nature of consciousness,
ta nezrozená vlastní přirozenost vědomí, kterou máme.
But there is also the relative truth
je tam i relativní pravda o té konceptuální realitě.
We need to rest the mind in our awareness and observe whatever appears to us as sights and sounds and taste and touch, whatever impinges on our sense organs.
Veškerými našimi smyslovými orgány a neměli bychom se to chytat, bychom to neměli odmítat, měli bychom to vědět o tom, měli bychom být protože
like crazy, but inwardly we
je všechno takové šílené,
and we can recognize all these sense stimuli as they appear. So then we respond spontaneously
a potom je to takové spontánní
to whatever presents itself without getting caught in mental
jak se vlastně samo o sobě představuje.
This is the important thing. If we are inwardly still,
pokud jsme vnitřně
present, and openly, spaciously aware, then whatever craziness is going on outside, we are not involved with it. And also our mind becomes much more quiet, and then we're not caught up in all this inner turmoil either. I mean, we're just there with whatever happens. And that's the only way to deal with our outer, busyness and our inner busyness, is to become more and more open, spacious, aware, and then spontaneously how we respond will not be part of should I do this, should I do that, is this better or that better, should I going on inside. We just naturally know what to say.
Pouze přirozeně víme, co máme říct.
And others might think that that was very skillful, but actually it just was a spontaneous manifestation of what is actually our innate wisdom, which we all have, but which normally gets covered over so we can see. Then it becomes very simple. The whole point is to simplify. Don't get too complex. You know, all the practices, especially among Dzogchen, it's all about simplifying and becoming natural and not clinging. So when you meet great masters, they are so sweet, but they're very simple. Right? They're not in the least bit complicated. They're almost like children, but in a good sense, not childish, but childlike, innocent.
Ale spíš jako nevinní.
So keep it simple, you know, people,
to udržujete klidné, takže lidé jsou pořád takový jako...
No. Just leave it very, 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 very natural.
Velmi přirozené.
Don't try to change. Just
A
be
nesnažte se
natural.
to změnit. Buďte pouze přirození a pravdiví. Je pouze potřebné být trpělivý a konzistentní v hledání klidu v meditaci. Může trpělivost a píle v meditaci přinést moudrost a vnitřní odpovědi.
Well, obviously we need patience and perseverance.
Potřebujeme
these are very important. Don't give up.
Neměli bychom se vzdávat.
Just keep going. But
Pořád bychom měli pokračovat, ale netlačte.
Don't get ambitious. I think it's very
Nebuďte
important
ambiciozní, protože je velice důležité nebýt orientovaný na cíl. Co já vlastně tady z toho získám?
Am I doing it right?
Dělám
When will I
správně,
achieve something?
Něco
You know, because that is just putting the very worldly kind of minds that we have, our ambition and desire for achievement onto a spiritual plane. So that's just the ego playing games, right? The ego wants, the sense of me wants to say I'm getting somewhere, right? Oh, look, I'm ever so much better than I was, you know, last week, last month, last year. Look, I'm getting there. Getting where?
Nebo minulý rok a už se tam dostávám, ale tam se dostávám. Není kam jít.
I mean, forget about enlightenment.
Zapomeňte na osvícení.
Just in the moment,
a pouze v ten okamžik buďte tu,
I mean, that's it.
Jak to říkám, a to je to.
I mean, really try to not think,
se snažte
am I doing it right? Is this good?
Dělám to správně.
What am I getting out of this? When am I going to arrive?
Co z toho dostanu?
Right?
Kam se dostanu?
It's not like that.
To tak není.
I mean, really, it's very important not to make meditation into just another ego enhancement of the spiritual path. It's not like that. It's letting things drop, not adding things on.
Neměli bychom je stavět.
So, I mean, Atisha also says, you know, the perfect meditation is to be
dokonalá meditace je být přirozený.
It's not about
a není to o
trying to make ourselves into something
else. Že se snažíme vytvořit sami ze sebe něco jiného. Je o tom, že bychom se měli vrátit k tomu, kdo skutečně jsme.
So don't make it complicated.
Takže
don't make it, you know,
nedělejte to komplikované.
Oh dear, you know, yes, we need patience. Yes, we need to keep going.
Trpělivost,
but we don't expect anything from it.
Nic
z toho
neočekáváme.
You know, whatever is happening, that's what's happening in the moment. That's enough. We know it.
Okamžik a to
just to be aware. That's enough.
A stačí být si pouze toho bdělovědomí.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, really, don't try to get anything. Don't even try to be calm and peaceful. Don't try to get anything, and don't practice with hope and fear.
A nepraktikujte s nadějí a strachem.
Right, just practice. And then whatever comes up, that's what comes up. That's fine.
Přijde, tak
you know, one day the mind is quiet and we think, oh, that's nice, now I'm getting it. Next time it's completely crazy, monkey mind.
Taková
it's all the same. It's just if we are conscious and aware and present and accepting, that's enough.
A přijímat to, tak to stačí. To je jedno. Nebo to nevadí. Tak to.
Will then many different questions
disappear potom různé otázky sami o sobě?
Well, that depends on the questions.
A to závisí na otázkách.
But the mind has its own wisdom.
Mysl má svou moudrost.
If only we would give it a space and allow the mind, the deeper mind to speak, you know, so to cultivate an inner silence, then we can hear our own wisdom.
Takže můžeme
slyšet. Our true nature knows
Ta skutečná přirozenost ví. A my to fyzické bla, 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 ale my to neslyšíme. Ale když se naučíme se uvolnit a být si bděle vědomí,
the mind knows. Yes. So yes, it can answer those questions.
My můžeme pak odpovědět tady na tyto otázky, na ty
but we have to give it space and we have to give silence.
Získat prostor a také ticho.
And listen.
A poslouchat.
If a monk decides to go on a long-term retreat for several years, does he prepare his mind for life-threatening situations which can happen during the retreat?
Které se mohou udát během toho ústraní?
That's a strange thing to say. It's certainly not helpful.
To vůbec jako není
to fill the mind with all the possibilities
nebo naplnit tu mysl veškerými možnostmi, co se může stát.
You know, anywhere else. I mean, anything can happen anywhere,
vlastně,
So if the mind can deal skillfully
s tím mysl může dobře zacházet s tou přítomností,
then it will
tak
deal
potom
with whatever comes up.
Bude zacházet s tím, co se stane v budoucnosti. Tak jak to přijde, tak s tím potom budeme a my sedíme a nepřemýšlíme o tom, co se může stát, vystresujeme se a pak jsme z toho takový v ten daný okamžik jednáme s tím daným okamžikem a co budeme dělat potom, tak to potom budeme řešit. Není to tak?
Obviously, if you're going into a long retreat, you need to make preparations, make sure you're going to be given enough food, that maybe you have some very basic medicines for like if you get a cough or a cold or a headache. But I mean, you can't sit there thinking of the things which could go wrong.
Ale nepřemýšlejte nad tím, že věci budou špatně.
Or can he be in the present moment, here and now, to the extent that he doesn't have this kind of thought anymore, because he has developed meditative skills to a high extent and knows how to control his mind, and thus is beyond concepts about the risks and fear of losing life?
Nebezpečí a strachu ze ztráty života.
Well, you know, I mean, honestly, if you're always filled with fears about accidents or losing your life, then it would be a very good idea to just sit down and look into the nature of those fears.
Dobrý nápad vlastně si sednout a jenom se podívat.
You know, why is this kind of mind coming up? What's the root of these thoughts? You know, where is it? So this is not just about being in retreat. I mean, this is our basic attitude to life.
Ale toto je vlastně takový základní
anxiety that needs to be investigated,
right,
and transformed. I mean, honestly, if we are always worrying about what could happen to us, you could walk out the door and be hit by a car. I mean, so then you don't go out the door. Because who knows? You know, you might walk down the street and get mugged. Well, then better not walk down the street. I mean, you can't lead life like that, right? We have to just assume that probably you won't be hit by a car, probably you won't be mugged. And if you are, you'll deal with it when it happens. In the meantime, it hasn't happened, so why are we worrying?
Neměli bychom se tolik strachovat.
Right? I mean, people who are caught up in anxiety, especially about the future, they should look into the nature of that anxiety, not for the future, but right in this moment.
Ne do budoucnosti, ale v tento daný
Where are these feelings coming from? What is this fear? Listen to the fear. What is it telling you
co je ten
the state of
co
your
vám ten
consciousness?
strach vlastně říká o stavu vašeho vědomí?
Thank you. All Buddhist teachings
Všechny
lead us
buddhistické
towards
nauky nás
systematic
vedou
work
k
with our mind,
systematické práci s naší
cultivation,
myslí,
taming,
kultivaci,
softening.
zkrocení, zjemnění.
Nowadays, I feel like being
A
polite
v
and
poslední
soft in
době vnímám
interaction
to,
with
že
others,
být
saying
slušný
sorry
a
for a
jemný v
mistake
interakci s
and
ostatními,
self-reflection,
omlouvat se za
criticism,
chybu a
etc.
sebereflexe,
is only
sebekritika a tak
supporting
dále pouze
people in
podporují
behaving
lidi,
even more
tím, aby se
roughly
chovali ještě
and
více
solidifying
drsněji
their ego.
a upevňovali své ego.
Can a balanced and
Může být
compassionate
vyrovnané
acceptance
a
of such
soucitné
behavior
přijetí
contribute to their
takového jednání
creation of
přispět
their
k
negative karma?
vytvoření jejich negativní karmy?
Well, Shantideva points out
Shantideva vlastně
that
poukazuje
ordinary
na to,
people
že obyčejní
are called
lidé
the childish, right?
nazývají
Because they're
dětinskými,
not in control of their
protože
emotions, like
oni
little children, you
nekontrolují
know.
své
Little
emoce,
children,
jako
if you do
děti,
something which
děti,
pleases
když
them, they're very happy.
děláte,
If you
tak
do
oni
something which frustrates them, then they go crazy, they get so angry and upset. Why? Because they are not in control of their emotions. They're little children. But then as we grow up, often outwardly we become adults, but inwardly, emotionally, we're still little children. Somebody does something we like them, we are happy. Somebody does something which annoys us and we get so angry. Same old thing, right? Therefore, even a bodhisattva's forbearance and patience might make them angry, right? You can't say, you know, what's going to make somebody angry. I mean, you know, you can be very polite and nice and people get angry because you're polite and nice. Well, that's their problem. It's not your problem. So we should feel, Shantideva says, we should feel simply compassion for their ignorance. And from our side, not get upset because we're trying to be nice and they're just being more difficult, right? We shouldn't get upset with them. We should think we're not responsible for the childish behavior of others. Right? From our side, our intention is good. How they respond to that is up to them. That's their problem. We cannot live their life for them.
My nemůžeme žít za ně jejich život.
Right?
Je to tak?
And as the Buddha said, we are all the owners of our own karma, of our own actions. So if we do something which will hurt someone and they retaliate, that's one thing. But if from our side our intention is very pure, then how they respond is their problem. It's not our problem. We just have compassion for their
Takže my
inability
můžeme
to,
cítit vlastně soucit k té
deal with life in a sane manner,
zacházet
in an adult
se životem
manner.
stejným způsobem.
People are very childish.
Přístupem. Lidé jsou velice dětinští.
I mean, we all are.
Já myslím, všichni jsme čas od času.
But you can see it, you know,
ale můžete to vidět.
Unskillful we are,
nedovední jsme.
Of course, the world is in such a mess.
A proto je ten život
but we're not responsible for that. You know, if from our side our intention and our actions were kind and good, if people respond unskillfully, we are not responsible for that. We can't do anything about that.
Už s tím nemůžeme nic jiného dělat.
So that's the way it is, you know, people are the way people are, you know, we cannot, I mean, even the Buddha, people would criticize the Buddha and say bad things about him, and, you know, the Buddha said, well, if you offer someone a gift, if someone offers you a gift and you don't accept it, to whom does the gift belong? And they said, well, to the person that gave it. And he said, okay, I don't accept your insults and your slander, so it's yours.
Takže nemusíte
so if we don't accept other people's bad behavior, who does it belong to?
Máme špatné chování ostatních lidí, tak komu ono patří?
Okay.
Okay. Death is strongly tabooed in our culture. We are in situations in which family and doctors are trying to keep a very sick inner person alive for as long as they can. Such people are kept alive in a kind of vegetative condition. If a person in this state rejects, for example, to eat, should his closest ones respect it or try to support him to eat and overcome his
vězení a tak překonat ten jeho odpor o nechuť.
Well, you know, of course, nowadays death is regarded as being, the big enemy instead of recognizing it as just a natural outcome of life. Everything comes into being and then departs. One man identifies completely with the body. This is the problem. And does not believe in the continuity of consciousness. Doesn't believe in heaven or hell. What to speak of rebirth, right? So death is the end. It's a black nothing. So instead of seeing it as a gateway into a new existence, and probably much better than this one if one is sick and dying, right? Instead of that, the people are taught that that's the end. So therefore you've got to keep that person going for as long as possible so they don't end, because the end is the worst thing that could happen. This is why, psychically it's very difficult for people nowadays to face death. They don't believe anymore in that you're leaving behind the body, which is just the guest house, but the consciousness goes on. I mean, and if you've been very sick and ill, what a relief to be free from this difficult body, I mean, actually it's a time of rejoicing, not of feeling sad. So therefore it's good if the family could accept that it's the right time for the loved one to depart. I mean, they can wish them well, say that they love them, but it's good to go now. Now go towards the light. That's fine. We love you. You can go. It's best to go. So anyway, so it's people who have had near-death experiences, there's so many books and so much out there now on these near-death experiences, people who nearly died and then came back. And almost all of them relate what an incredibly wonderful experience it was, the best thing ever happened to them ever, and how they felt that for the first time they were really alive. It was more real than our ordinary everyday seeming reality. And when they come back, they are so changed because they recognize what the meaning of life is really all about, and it's not about what they thought it was about. So then they are much more into spiritual things and also into helping others and trying to do something really worthwhile with their lives. So death is not something frightening. You should make friends with death. Hug them, hello death. You poor thing, nobody loves you. Well, we will love you. And, make friends with death. It's a great adventure. The best adventure in our lives is when we finally die. So definitely encourage, if somebody is in that state, then try to release them. Nothing worse than being trapped in the body from which there is no release. It's not a kindness. Kindness is to allow them to go, to keep going on their travels, not to get them artificially trapped. Death is very exciting, actually. I don't know why people are so worried about it.
Úžasné, nevím, proč se jí lidé tolik bojí.
Jetsunmou, you are known for your activities supporting the education of nuns from Himalayan areas and their full acknowledgement, acceptance from the side of monks. How do you manage to fulfill this intention compared to the past, according to the Buddhist teachings? How to be actively engaged in the process of change, improvement in society?
Well, let's think. Nowadays, the attitude, absolutely, the attitude towards the female potential is changing worldwide. And even within Buddhism, it is changing. It's slow, but it's changing. As women become more educated, then they also gain much more confidence and they also gain a voice. So, it's really, I mean, mostly, you know, among nuns,
the
monks are happy
mnížkami,
that they now have, very well educated Dharma sisters.
Dharma
they at least in the Tibetan tradition, they are very, they nowadays they really respect and appreciate nuns, and the lay people do too. So therefore the nuns are able to go forward, and they are going by leaps and bounds. I mean, actually they are quite surpassing our expectations of what they can do. They are just running with it, right? Now, Buddhism has always actually appreciated social endeavors. The Buddhist king Ashoka, back in the 3rd century, he wrote on his, carved everything on stone, and it was all about planting shade trees, digging wells, taking care of animals, living in harmony with your neighbors. I mean, when people finally translated his stone edicts, they couldn't believe that he was what he was talking about. Not his great war victories and things like this, but don't forget to plant more trees. So this is backwards in the 3rd century BC, just 200 years after the Buddha. He was a great Buddhist emperor. Our actions, of course, should be based on kindness and on harming, and observing the precepts and trying to make things better for ourselves and for others. But, nobody can do everything. This is samsara, and samsara is samsara, and there's always going to be troubles. But we can take some part which speaks to us and do our bit, right? Some injustice or some part which, we could help with, and we can do that much, So it shouldn't be based on anger and frustration with society, but it should be based on compassion and a desire to help, that we want to do what we can to benefit others in some way. So we can't do everything because, samsara is samsara. And we have created the karma that we are now experiencing. But still, everybody can do something, even within their family, within their workplace, within their social context. We can do what we can to make others happy. And based on our own recognition that all living beings want happiness and don't want to suffer, just as we would rather be happy and not suffer. And that, therefore, that much we can do for the world, to try to bring within our abilities a little happiness into the lives of others. So yes, but as I say, our social outreach should not be based on anger.
Naše sociální jednání by nemělo být založené na hněvu, ale mělo by založené na soucitu.
I mean, people can always get angry about social injustices, but there's always something to be angry about. And that just creates more aggression on the other side.
Nevyrovnanosti, protože ono to vytváří vlastně agresi a zlost.
If our motivation is based on wisdom and
když naše motivace je založena na moudrosti a soucitu.
Thank you. The Buddhist teachings talk of supreme perfection, from which all phenomena arise or manifest. It's only the human mind that categorizes them with a vast array of judgments. A conscious evil-doing that harms others belongs here too. How to include this phenomena into the central idea of love and compassion?
Ústřední představy lásky a soucitu.
All phenomena, so the human mind has a conscious evil doing how can we, well, this is all based on basically on a kind of Zoftian view from the point of view of ultimate reality, where dog shit and pizza are equally delicious, right? So if you're at that level, fine, right?
Pokud jste na této úrovni, tak je to fajn. Ale ta
of our negative emotions such as anger and lust is a very powerful energy wisdom. This is the basis of Tantra. It's not just a matter of something purely negative. The essential nature is something very powerful, very energetic, but it's got distorted.
Přirozenost je vlastně
and becomes our negative emotions, our kleshas. But in its essential nature, it is pure wisdom. So this is the thing. In its essential nature, it's pure. All our negative emotions, right? So that's why also the kleshas, the negative emotions like anger and lust and jealousy are also included in the mandala. They are also there because you know, we all have Buddha nature, and all these kleshas are just covering our Buddha nature, but they're not part of the Buddha nature, right? They're the storm clouds in the clear sky. So, I have here a quote which says, primordial goodness goes beyond conventional notions of good and bad. It lies much deeper than conditional personality, and which is always a mixture of positive and negative, our ordinary evil and destructive behavior is the result of people failing to recognize the fundamental goodness of their essential nature. So these negative things are just a distorted expression of our true nature. So therefore we should, from the point of relative or conventional truth, where we all are, which is now, right, there is certainly good and evil. I mean, we're not saying good and evil don't exist. On the conventional level, there is good and evil, and there are the karmic results of good and evil, right? You know, right? So they're the common results of our actions of body, speech, and mind, depending on the roots of our good and bad. The Buddha said that karma is intention. So if it comes from a destructive root like anger and greed and so forth, then it will have negative results. If it is from a positive thing like kindness and loving kindness and compassion, etc., it will have a wholesome root. So from a conventional point of view in which we are living and experiencing things based on our ego, as long as we believe in me, there will always be karma. Then we should be very careful about our ethical conduct, and we shouldn't kid ourselves into thinking we're beyond all of the societal inhibitions. We should really look very clearly at what is going on in our mind. And if there is negative roots there, then we should transform them. But on an ultimate level, those negative roots are just the expression of our wisdom mind. So if we're really living on an ultimate level, great, but that means you can eat dog shit and be happy. Yummy.
To znamená, že i to psí hovno nás učiní šťastnými. To je taková mňamka.
I mean, remember that Angulimala, even in the Theravada Sutras, Angulimala killed 99 people or 999 people, depending on your sources, but he became an arhat in one lifetime.
Ale on se stal arhatem během jednoho života.
So as soon as he gained genuine ultimate realization, the karma just fell apart away, even though he had killed so many people.
I když vlastně zabil tolik lidí.
It's the ego which is holding
ego,
it.
které vlastně to všechno drží. A nebyl to bodhisattva, já jsem se spletla.
Thank you very much. Question number 12.
A pak je otázka
When I feel tired,
se cítím unavený.
I sit and make the mind deal with it,
aby si s tím poradila, nebo je lepší spočinout na chvíli předtím, teda si odpočinout na chvilku před tou
Well, I would say just rest.
Já bych řekla,
there's no point in pushing the mind and the body when if you're too tired. So rest for a short while, and when you feel a bit revived, then continue.
A odpočíňte si, a pak až si odpočinete, tak můžete...
I mean, he goes on about it, about being tired, you know, and it sounds to me like maybe he just needs a good rest. Maybe he's not getting enough sleep.
Potřeboval odpočinout, že třeba nemá dostatek spánku.
I mean, it's important to get enough rest for your body and
mind.
Je
nemožné dostat vlastně
otherwise you're always,
odpočinek pro tělo
below par, and then you have to push yourself, which is not a good thing to do.
So I would say first he should examine že nejprve by si ten člověk nebo ona vlastně měli zjistit, jestli mají dostatek spánku.
I mean, just something basic like that, you know, you might just be tired.
Jednoduchého, nebo základního, možná jste jenom vlastně unavení, protože dost nespíte.
Okay, so that seems to also answer the question 12.
A zdá se, že to i odpovídá i na tu otázku 12.2. Možná ta poslední část otázky.
Problem with tiredness in a retreat. Usually the first day or two I get very tired. My body finally relaxes.
První a druhý den ústraní jsem úplně unavený, takže mé tělo se úplně uvolní, takže
yeah, well, I mean, apart from making sure that you sleep first, you know, and that you're really relaxed and rested, then if one continues to feel drowsy,
a potom už
during meditation,
během té meditace,
I mean, then you have to, that is called sinking mind.
Nebo mátožní.
I mean, it's not because you haven't had enough sleep, it's just that when you start to meditate, then you just naturally, your mind starts to sink and get drowsy. Then we have to take steps. One thing is to sit with very wide open eyes, staring into space, not keeping the eyes lowered or closed, but open wide, staring into space. That makes the mind wider, spacious, more awake. Also, one can visualize a light here, a bright light, and that also brings up the energy to being here. You know, so that also can help to waken us up a bit. Milarepa, you see it on those tankas which show the life of Milarepa. One of them he's sitting, and on his head he has a candle, a lighted butter lamp. Because, you know, if you have a lighted butter lamp on your head, you're not going to you're going to be sitting very nicely. So one friend of mine, she had a little bowl of water which she put on her head. She didn't dare to put a candle in case she covers up a light, but she put a little bowl of water on her head. So with the same thing, you have to sit very carefully, because if you know, you start to doze, then somebody else, a meditation teacher, meditated on the edge of a well, right? So he was sitting on the wall of a well, deep well, to meditate. And again, that, you know, causes you to be very conscious. You know, you're not going to fall asleep if you're sitting on the edge of a well. And if you still feel very tired,
a když se cítíte velice unavení, tak stoupněte, trošku se projděte, jděte ven, podívejte se na oblohu, na přírodu a pouze se snažte trošku oživit svou mysl. Takže tyto věci
it's very important that, you know, sometimes people go into very deep states of being very calm and very quiet, but it's really just because the mind has sunk. And maybe from a Dzogchen point of view, it's in the alaya consciousness. So this is not good.
A je to vědomí Allah.
The mind should stay very clear and alert. We should feel we're waking up, not that we're going to sleep. And at the end of the meditation, even though the mind is quieter, it should feel very alert, very clear, not very drowsy and kind of sleepy. So anything that you can think of to make the mind more alert. Sometimes in Dzogchen they shout and fall back, right? And that, wakes you up. Nothing else does, right? Get the mind alert, awake. Don't fall asleep.
Ostražitou, bdělou, ne usněte.
And keep the session short. I would say, if you're inclined to be drowsy, keep short sessions, many, but have a break, and then start again, and really make a determination that you're going to stay alert. Right? Otherwise, if they're too long, then the mind kind of drifts off and gets bored and sluggish. So keep these sessions fairly short and precise,
lína. Takže ta sezení mějte přesná a krátká. S přestávkami. Ten hlavní bod je se probudit, aby jsme byli více bdělé, pozorní a jasnější a ne takový zamlžení. Jak můžeme hovořit s dětmi o smrti a pomíjivosti jemně? A jak to udělat, když jsme mezi lidmi, kteří toto považují za tabu?
So again, back to death.
A opět, když se vrátíme k té smrti, děti mohou zažívat smrt, co se týká vlastních zvířaty, protože zvířata nežijí. A také umírají a je dobré vysvětlit dětem, že všichni jsme na cestě a možná opustit a začít vlastně jinde. A všechno to je součástí cesty. Vysvětlit, že vše se vlastně celou dobu jako vlastně, jak je to v řece, jak ta voda v té řece nepřetržitě běží a mění se okamžitě na okamžitě.
The photos of you, how you looked last year,
podívejte se třeba na fotky, jak jste vypadali před rokem,
nebo rok changed. Everything's changing, you know? It's natural to be born.
A je přirozené být naroden.
It's natural to live for a while, and then it's natural to depart,
a je přirozené vlastně
which we call dying. But it's all very natural. You shouldn't hide these things from children, really. You know, it's a gateway to another life. So actually, it's a great adventure. We shouldn't think of it as something fearful. We learn to think of something fearful. I mean, I was brought up as a spiritualist, so therefore every week we had seances in our house and dealt with people who had died before. So from a very early childhood, I was very used to the idea of spirits all around us and people dying and then carrying on into new kind of lives. So as a result, I grew up without any fear of death because in our house we talked about death all the time and what was going to happen next and so forth. It wasn't a fearful subject. We are taught to be fearful. It doesn't mean that we naturally have to be fearful. I'm not fearful because I wasn't brought up being fearful. Death was an everyday, topic of conversation. It wasn't anything frightening. So we should use this time, tell the children to use the time while we're here on earth to be kind to ourselves, kind to others, and because all living beings want happiness, they want happiness, all living beings want happiness, not just humans, but animals and insects, all beings want happiness and don't suffer. So, and also we should understand we cannot hold on to people forever, we cannot hold on to possessions forever. We have them for a short time, then we have to let them go, right? So
a
it's nothing to be
tak dále,
afraid of.
protože
Death is not something to be afraid of, it's a new beginning.
Můžeme to i ztratit.
And so if,
smrt
for
není
example,
nic,
you know, the
bychom se měli
animals
bát, můžeme to brát
die
jako
or something, then you can bury them, can say some
když
prayers
vlastně
and wish that they should have a happy
třeba
rebirth
zemřou, tak bychom jim třeba
and so
měli
forth, and
pomodlit
give
a
them a
přát jim
positive idea
šťastné
of what
vlastně
happens
znovu
next.
zrození a měli bychom
Don't
jim dát
frighten them.
jakousi pozitivní představu toho, co se potom může stát a
If you
neměli
don't
bychom je
frighten them, they
děsit.
won't be frightened.
Pokud je vlastně nevyděsíte, tak oni
And that's a
budou
great
vyděšení.
gift,
A toto je úžasný dar.
not to have a fear of death.
Nemít strach ze smrti.
And the people around you, you know,
A
if they
lidé,
don't
kteří jsou
like that,
kolem
too bad
vás,
for them.
pokud se jim to
Say,
nelíbí,
well, that's
tak
my view and I'm
to je
giving it.
pro ně špatně. Já
It's
to
a whole lot
to já ho takhle
more
předávám.
positive
A on
than the view that death is
pozitivnější
the
než
end or
náhled,
that death is
že
something terrifying,
smrt je konec a že
which
to je
just
něco děsivého.
pollutes our life.
Což vlastně takhle znečišťuje.
Why have that burden?
Proč bych vlastně měla mít tady
you know, you can't convince anybody, but I
to
mean,
nést
from
jako
your side, you
břemeno.
can live what you believe.
A měli byste žít vy byste měli žít to, čemu vy věříte.
Sometimes if you get people talking about birth, death and rebirth, it's quite interesting because they start coming out with all sorts of things. People who never talk about this sort of thing.
Lidé třeba
Maybe
takové věci.
If you start the conversation, it
vlastně
opens up.
ten rozhovor,
when
tak
I
lidé
was
se více
working in the West, I found that people, you know, in the office and elsewhere, they were the ones who wanted to talk about these sort of things.
Našla vlastně lidé v různých
Because normally they would never speak about it, but now suddenly they felt it gave them permission.
Ale najednou měli pocit,
especially knowing as a Buddhist you believe in rebirth, then they start telling you about all the places they thought they had been in their last life. I've always been very drawn to Scotland. I think in my last life I must have been Scottish. Now that's funny you said that, because I felt that when I went to Greece. I felt an immediate sense of recognition. Do you think I could have been a Greek last life? I mean, and everybody suddenly started giving their ideas of where they're going to be. And I said, well, it doesn't matter where you were last life. How are you using this life for where you're going to go next?
Ale je jedno vlastně ten minulý život, ale to, jak používáme vlastně ten náš současný život, je důležitý, protože potom poznáme, jaký bude ten budoucí.
Thank you very much. How can we approach
jak můžeme přistoupit k teoriím o životě na jiných planetách prostřednictvím buddhismu?
Question number 14.
Otázka číslo 14.
Yeah, I'm getting that. You know, Buddhism has always taught that the universe is
učil, že ten
you know,
je nekonečný.
It's always, even in the Theravada and all Buddhist schools, the idea that the universe is inconceivably vast.
Že vlastně je ten
and according to the Mahayana,
neuvěřitelně rozláhlý.
It is not only inconceivably vast, I mean, cosmos after cosmos after cosmos, inconceivable. But it's also inhabited by infinite amount of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, right? In all the world systems, there are infinite Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. And so, you know, and in some Mahayana sutras, it says how they can help us. They can, you know, if we have faith in them, they are there for us. So there's no problem with theories of life on other planets. You know, there's so many other planets beyond thought, you know. However, we are karmically linked to this earth system. So this is why we get reborn again and again and again on planet Earth. But other beings get, you know, have their own planetary systems. So yeah, I mean, Buddhism has always believed in infinite life throughout the universe.
Život v celém tom vesmíru.
Probably more intelligent.
Možná mnohem inteligentní.
We hope.
When acting consciously, we are acting on the base of an intention. While being overwhelmed by strong emotions of happiness or anger, since they are gross, I don't know with which intention I'm responding. Is the emotion part of the intention? Or can a strong emotion block time before acting when we are supposed to have awareness of our intention and to act accordingly with awareness? Because it seems to be a complex question with many parts, so perhaps just the first part, or I don't know if it is clear to you.
I mean, so many of these questions are so complicated.
A tyto otázky jsou tak komplikované.
Make things more simple. Most people actually are completely unaware of the intentions when they act. This is why we are instructed to become more aware, because we are not aware. We do something, and often we tell ourselves, this is my intention, but actually it's not the real underlying emotion, which may be based on something quite negative, but we always, try to tell ourselves it was a good intention, and it may have been a good intention, it may not have been a good intention. We don't always see. But don't get caught up on trying to discover the real motivation, because then we just trip ourselves up the whole time. Oh, is this the right motivation? Was that really this? Was it really that? Strong emotions.
Nebo jiný záměr.
To se týká těch silných emocí. And even become the intention. So that's why we have to be conscious the whole time.
Měli bychom si být právě vědomí toho, kdy se stávají tím záměrem. A měli bychom si být vědomí toho.
Don't get too caught up in always trying to think what was the real motivation behind all this, because then you just end up, just so tight. Just relax. And as we become more aware, as we become more conscious, then our true motivation begins to emerge. And also we are not swept away by all these strong emotions. We can see the emotions, we can recognize the emotions. We're not swept away. That's the whole point of being aware. And there's also the point of learning how to be aware during formal sitting, so that we get those awareness muscles strong, so that when we need them, they're there. We are now able to be strong in the midst of all these whirling emotions. And we can see very clearly what's going on in the mind. So it's good to learn how to be aware and clear during times when we are not emotionally involved, so that we get the practice to be able to deal with it when we have more strong emotions coming up. Do you understand? I mean, we start from something simple, like sitting in meditation and practicing being aware. And gradually that gives us the ability, the strength to be able to maintain awareness under all circumstances. I'm not worried, if we have very strong negative emotions, to recognize that and then, deal with it in whatever way we've been taught how to deal with negative emotions.
Na tom, jak jsme byli naučeni zacházet s těma vlastně negativními.
I mean, otherwise you just get yourself just relax.
Pouze se uvolněte
just look at the mind.
A podívejte se na tu mysl.
I mean, even Milarepa, Buddha, Guru Rinpoche, Atisha, everybody said the essence of the practice is
všichni říkali, že esencí praxe je pozorování mysli.
So that's what we need to do.
A to je to, co bychom měli dělat.
Learn how to recognize whatever is
rozpoznávat cokoliv se děje, vzniká a pak s tím zacházet inteligentně.
Maybe we take one more question and
možná si ještě vezmeme jednu otázku a pak pro dnešek skončíme.
We can do the others next time.
A ty ostatní můžeme udělat příště.
Okay. Yes, of course, thank you. If I were to die right now, let's say
pokud
with
bych
a
teď
heart
zemřel,
attack or sudden
řekneme
accident, which would be the best practice
srdce
to
nebo
rely
náhlou
upon?
nehodu, co bude nejlepší praxi, na kterou se mohu spoléhat?
Well, if you were to die so suddenly, it would be the practice which is most familiar to you,
tak udělejte tu praxi, kterou nejvíce znáte.
I mean, you wouldn't have time to decide.
Nebudete mít vůbec čas
now, which practice should I do? You know, you just had a heart attack, or you've just been slammed in an accident. I mean, there's no time to decide which one would be best.
Nehoda. Takže vůbec čas se rozhodnout.
Mahatma Gandhi, when he was shot,
Mahatma Gandhi, když ho zastřelili,
I mean, as he was shot, he cried, "Ram, Ram!"
Přitom zastřelení křičel Ram, Ram, což je vlastně jméno
Rama. So that was his last. That was his last
poslední
thing, right? So when a truck full of our young nuns overturned in the road, and all the little nuns were thrown out
byla dopravní nehoda
onto the road.
A vlastně
One of them said afterwards that as the truck turned over,
a když se vlastně to auto vlastně převrátilo,
and her thought was of Guru Rinpoche.
A tam její myšlenka byla na Guru
Rinpocheho. A ona řekla Guru Rinpoche. And she lost consciousness and then she was okay. She didn't die. But that was her last thought because she is very devoted to Guru Rinpoche. So, you know, the thing is that the Chinese, for example, Chinese Buddhists all say Amitofo. When you meet them, Amitofo. When you say goodbye, Amitofo. When you give them something, Amitofo. They say something like Amitofo. Yeah, Amitofo means Amitabha Buddha. And so they say it continually, so that should something happen suddenly, their last thought will be Amitofo.
Nastane nečekaně, tak oni pak řeknou Amitabha a Amitabha přijde.
Right? So this is the point.
Takže to je ten
that you know that you should you should keep. I mean, like the Tibetans say, Om Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum. They're thinking of Chenrezig. Guru Rinpoche or whatever, or Tara. But, you can't decide at the end, just at the end what you're going to think about. I mean, if you suddenly, whatever spontaneously comes will come. So you have to train now. And whatever will then automatically, spontaneously come to mind at the time of death. And I mean, for ordinary people, if you can just say to them, well, just think of the light, go towards the light.
Můžete říct, přemýšlejte nad světlem a jděte se světlem a to úplně stačí.
So, dear Jetsunmou, thank you so very much for your kind answers and for our time that we have had together. And so we are very grateful. And so we hope there will be a chance or occasion to continue our session, perhaps in the future. So again, perhaps on behalf of all of us, thank you so very much. And we wish you all the best and good luck, and may everything goes well for you and for your nunnery in India. And thank you once again.
Well, thank you, Lucas, and thank all of you. And really, I wish all of you the very, very, very best for this coming year of the water tiger. May it be very auspicious for you and for the whole world at this time. And it seems that in March everything is going to be more open up, so that is the new year coming. And so may all be well for everybody. So I hope to see you again at some point. We will see in the future. You can save these questions which we haven't dealt with.
Můžete vlastně znovu ty otázky, které
we can start with those next time.
Okay, thank you. We will do like that. And also, I would like to say for our translator, Katka, thank you so much for your hard work for translation.
Translators are wonderful. Absolutely fantastic. Thank you. Really, without you, nothing, literally. And so, you know, translators are always in the background, nobody notices them, but without them, it couldn't happen. So really, thank you so much for all your skill and all your patience and all your expertise. Thank you so much. And the one that's typing busily here.
So thank you once again. Thank you.
May all be well and happy.
Thank you very much.